things. I don't think that, on this question of health, I don't think people should be loaded all the time, other than cannabis or something like that. But I mean psychedelic voyages are trips away from home. They are trips away from home. And we go away from home if we're able to afford it several times a year. That sounds about right. The other thing I'm no fan of, and I suppose I should say it and then let you go, is I do not believe as a rule, I would break the rule in some cases, but as a rule, I think it's bad to combine drugs. If very little is known about these drugs, 1,000 times less is known about what happens when you start combining things. And, I know people who are really druggy. I know people who say, well, we got together last night and we smoked a little dope and then dropped some MDMA and somebody had some 5-MeO DMT and after that we used the ketamine to kind of mellow it out. Well, if you were to tell me that these people died of coronary thrombosis or stroke or anything else, I wouldn't be surprised. That's nuts to pile one drug upon another like that. And then they say, oh, well, how was it? Say, it was far out, man. Whoa, my God, I would certainly hope so. We're not likely to revisit that combination anytime soon, so I hope you took good notes. No, I think high doses of pure compounds, high doses, heroic doses, find out the LD50 for the drugs you're interested in, so that when you're in there and your mind tells you, well, now you're going to die, you can at least have a dialogue with it about how that's impossible because you only took 1/200th of the lethally effective dose. If you don't know what the lethal dose is, and your mind starts telling you you're dying, you're just its creature to play with. So it's very important to inform yourself of the pharmacology, the botany, the ethnomedical dimensions of these things, the physiological presentation of the state, the anecdotal accounts of what goes on, and then do it, and do it right. Do it on an empty stomach, in darkness if that's indicated. And this whole thing about the guide, if you're not familiar with these things, you need a sitter. But a sitter is not a guide. A sitter is to call 911. And guides, anybody who tells you they're going to guide you, doesn't know the territory. Nobody can guide anybody else. They're just there to reassure. If I have a sitter, they're at least one room away, and I have a little Tibetan gong or something, and they can pop their head in if I ring it. But I don't like being around people when I'm stoned, and I really don't like being around stoned people when I'm stoned. No, pot is like cold water. But the reason I don't like to be around people when I'm stoned and they're stoned is because I worry about them. If I take 5 grams of mushrooms and somebody else takes 5 grams of mushrooms and we're lying side by side in a darkened room, I'm worrying about them. I'm listening. Can I hear them breathing? Mm-hmm. Can I hear them breathing? Well, say I can't. Well then, but maybe they are breathing. Well, but then if I bother them, maybe something really profound is happening to them. So then, and my mind just turns into a nattering moron of some sort out of worry for the other person and some weird sense of responsibility, usually because I'm the advocate, if not the provider. So, take all this with a grain of salt, process it through your own filters, proclivities, eccentricities, and so forth and so on, And let's get together at 4.